Parashah. Okay, we are Parashat Balak, and here's a little synopsis, and then we'll get into a few points, Bezrat Hashem. So, Parashat Balak opens where Balak sees Bnei Israel being a very numerous people, and he was afraid of them. We came out of Mitzrayim, we overtook the Egyptians, who could have imagined, and Balak is afraid of Bnei Israel. So he sends messengers to Bilam the sorcerer, to curse Bnei Israel. Bilam was a prophet, a sorcerer, and Hashem tells Bilam not to go. Balak persists, and Balak persists Bilam to come, and Bilam wanted to go. Hashem tells Bilam, "You could only go on condition that whatever I put in your mouth, you will say." Bilam, thinking that he could outsmart Hashem, okay, okay, I'm going, I'll go. Hashem tries sending Bilam a message with his donkey veering off path 3 times, and only later to realize that there was an angel blocking his way. Bilam and the donkey talking to Bilam. Why did you hit me 3 times? Because he hit him every time he went off the path. Bilam doesn't get the point. It's unbelievable. Bilam doesn't see that Hashem is just trying to tell him to avoid going and making a mockery of yourself and trying to curse Bnei Israel. They get there and they go to different vantage points to try to curse Bnei Israel. And every time Bilam says curses, only blessings came out of his mouth. And Balak, frustrated, said, okay, let's go to this vantage point, offer these offerings. And each situation didn't work well for Bilam, only turned to blessings. Well, Bilam failed in that respect, but his plan B, unfortunately, did work. His plan B was to tell Balak to bring Moabite woman to entice Bnei Israel, as he knew Hashem hates immorality. And Bnei Israel fell and committed adultery and avodah zarah. Hashem punished those that sinned, 24,000, unfortunately, and they got killed. The Parashah ends with the story of Pinchas killing one of the heads of the tribes of Shimon, who committed adultery, the story of Kozbi and the Zimri. There's more to that in Parashat Pinchas, but the start of it is in our Parashah. So what's interesting is the Parashah of Balak and Bilam is all behind the scenes, meaning when did Bnei Israel know about the story? When they got the Torah. When they got the full Torah, meaning when Moshe Rabbeinu went up for 4 days, 40 nights, came down, when we heard the Ten Commandments, when he came down with the whole Torah, eventually after breaking the Luchot, and then eventually coming down with the whole Torah, he came with the whole Torah, with all the mitzvot, but as far as the stories, it was until that point. And then it kept on going and adding from prophecy from Hashem, and only before Moshe Rabbeinu died did he give the full and complete Torah to Bnei Israel. So it was only then when we knew the story of Balak and Bilam. There was this person that tried conspiring against us and hiring this person to curse. It's unbelievable. And this is something that also we will find out after 120 years, how many times Hashem saved our lives as a nation in a personal way, that Hashem is always behind the scenes taking care of us. Unbelievable. So the next point is the following, that Parshat, this is something that I mentioned briefly in the synopsis, is that the story of Balak and Bilam has a very scary Musar lesson for us, where Bilam, who has a tremendous power of speech, whoever he blesses was blessed, whoever he cursed was cursed. That's why he was hired in the first place. And he's employed to curse Bnei Israel. He knows Hashem doesn't want. He eventually finds out that this donkey is veering off the path, and donkey speaking to him. It's all because Hashem sends him these messages not to go curse Bnei Israel. Yet he still goes. It's unbelievable against all logic. Imagine a person was doing something. He's like, "Oh, no, is this right? Is this wrong?" And you get a heavenly voice says, "Don't go." And it's like, what? We even see it as a coincidence if, like, all of a sudden put on the radio and the first words are "Don't go." Then it'd be like, "Oh my God, what a coincidence! Hashem sending me a message." Imagine if it was actually Hashem telling you that Bilam was a prophet. Yet Bilam still goes. It's unbelievable. Bilam was a wise person. How could he not read into this? He should have thought, okay, my strength is my speech. Who's giving me speech? Hashem. Hashem just gave speech to this donkey, and it's basically telling me all these strong hints, like don't go. What's going on over here? Yet, it doesn't make an impact on Bilam whatsoever. And it's a simple lesson, but a important lesson, how blind a person could be when a person has some sort of personal motive, whether it's money, whether it's power, whether it's position, a person could literally completely be blind. Someone could send you and literally someone to spell it out for you, and you still won't see it. It's scary, very scary. Something can be, clear as day to one person, and another person it can be totally blinded from it. Something we have to ask Hashem for in tefillah for not to be blinded by situations that are going to be for us in the negative. And unfortunately, this happens when a person wants to sin, wants to do something evil. He doesn't care. He puts everything, God forbid a person cheats on his wife, chas shalom, and he has kids, he has a family, he has everything. And he says, what? Like you said, logically, you're losing everything here. You're going to lose everything. Well, then, a person that steals, whatever, you're losing everything. What are you doing? Sometimes, it's the story came to mind. There was a teenager that I was dealing with once, and and she got divorced. His parents got divorced when he was 1 years old. And when I was speaking to the mother said that when she was dating the guy and engaged, her parents told her, "Don't do it, don't do it." They showed her all the signs not to get married to this guy. And looking back in hindsight, she said it was clear as day that I shouldn't have, but she did. Okay, Hashem wanted to bring that kid to the world, etc. But we have to pray that Hashem spares us from these situations. That Hashem puts us on the right path. If a person goes and wants to go in the wrong path, a person, God forbid, can be very, very blind. Even if there's all these things and signs in front of him, he won't be able to see it. God forbid. Scary, scary thought. Balak tells Bil'am, "Hine am yatsa miMitzrayim, hine chisa et en haaretz v'hu yoshev mimuli." Behold, like look, this nation came out of Mitzrayim. And again, hine, behold, they're covering the entire land and they're opposite me. They're going to attack me. I'm afraid of them. So the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, which today is his Yortzeit, today is his Nachala, says, why does Balak over here say the words hine? He says it twice. Hine am yasar mitzrayim. Hine, he said, look, behold, look, this nation came out of Egypt. Look, they, like one time would have sufficed. Hine, behold, there's a nation here, came out of Mitzrayim, and vechisad aretz. Why again hine? He explains as follows, interesting explanation from the Midrash. The Midrash says, oh, hi Ezra. The Midrash says that Paro had three advisors: Bilam, Yitro, and Iyov. And Bilam, Yitro, and Iyov. Yitro he ran away. When Paro said, we're going to kill the Jews, let's get rid of the Jews, Yitro ran away. He ran away from Gedula, from greatness. He got greatness afterwards when his daughter married Moshe Rabbeinu. Bil'am, he said, yeah, let's kill them. Eventually, he got killed. His ending was getting killed by Pinchas, actually. And Eov was quiet. So his punishment was that he got very grave blemishes, a lot of difficulties in his life, health, etc. And what's the midah keneged midah there? Because when something hurts you, you scream. When something affects you, like, hey, that's wrong. But Eov was quiet. That means it didn't hurt him so much. Hashem said, oh, Hashem sees, oh, this didn't hurt you so much. So we're going to make something. We're going to give a reason for you to scream, for you to shout. So Bilam is one of Paro's advisors. The Midrash says that what happened was Bilam was a sorcerer. So Paro used Bilam when Bnei Israel were servants and slaves in Egypt. He says, Bilam, I want you to put a spell on the borders of Egypt that no slave, no servant could ever leave Egypt. It's unbelievable. A spell so that no one could leave Egypt. But what happens? Bnei Israel left. So what does Balak say? Hine, look, Am Yatzam Mitzrayim. This nation is leaving Egypt. It left Egypt. It went against you. So come, Bilam, and come and go against Bnei Israel. Look, they were able to overcome your spell. Pay them back. It's unbelievable. That's the Midrash says, but the Orach Chaim HaKadosh says that's why it says again, Hine. It's the point of the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. And it's amazing that the hate of Bnei Israel from the hate of Balak toward Bnei Israel is so strong that you just saw that something failed, meaning Bnei Israel left Egypt and broke the spell of Bilam. That failed. Yet you're still calling Bilam to try cursing? Because Balak had no other source, no other ways to get rid of us, and he had to use any which way, even though it was a failed way already. Unbelievable that unfortunately when people's hate is so strong they'll do anything and lose their whole mind. And I was speaking to someone about this, like you see, it's really crazy out there in the world. People like they do these anti-Semitic things and they lose because of the hatred against the Jews, and they lose their whole career. Doctors that make statements online or reporters that say something, oh, they're gone. They're fired and they're fired for life and they're banned. It's crazy. I just saw also in the States, there's these ICE officers or arresting and people that are there illegally. And these 10 people were caught trying to like ambush and kill ICE officers. Like, are you crazy? Like you got caught. Like your whole life is messed up now. Like for what? You think you're gonna make a difference? Like it's just unbelievable. But you see the hatred. So these people, the Balak hates Bnei Israel so much. I'm gonna even use a fail tactic. I don't have anything else, but even a fail tactic. Unbelievable. Bilam tries cursing Bnei Israel but fails. One of those, one of those failures is the pasuk Tamot nafshi mot yesharim. Bilam says, "I want to die like the death of the straight people." So, what is he saying? He says, "I want to die like the avot hakedoshim." That's the Mefarshim say. He wants to die like the avot hakedoshim. So, number one is why are the avot called yesharim, straight? And why would Bilam like think that he's on the level of the Avot? Like, come on. Um, the story goes of a person that wasn't so connected to Torah who went into the office of the great Rabbi Noach Weinberg, the founder of Esha Torah. And he sees in his office pictures of Gedolim, of great rabbis. And he says, wow, who are these people? And Rabbi Weinberg says, these people are actually almost extinct. He says, whoa, really? What does that mean? He says, yes, these are civilized human beings. And civilized human beings, that's the midah of yashrut, yashar, Yisrael, yashar, being a straight person, decency. And that is the start of the foundation of being a Torah Jew, of being a proper Ben Torah, a person connected to Torah mitzvot. Start with being a decent person, a yashar, a straight person. The Avodah Kedoshim, of course, one of the greatest of levels. They started with this is from the Netziv, started being a level of yashrut, decent human beings. No matter who they spoke to, no matter who they dealt with, it was always with Yishuv Adat, which we'll speak more about, and it was always with yashrut. And this we're starting also on Sunday, Shiva Sefer Tammuz, the 3 weeks, which the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of Sinat Chinam, baseless hatred. That's the opposite of having that yashrut, of having that connection with everyone and being straight with everyone. But there's, God forbid, sinat chinam. That's what was missing, the midah of yashrut, of being yashar. Bilam looked to wipe us out. They want to get rid of Bnei Israel. This is not a civilized person. This is the least civilized. This is the least yashar. But that's why the opposite came out of his mouth, that he like as if wanted to be yashar, wanted to be with Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Pasuk says, Bilam, again, another blessing of Bilam. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Israel. How good are the tents of Yaakov, the dwelling places of Israel. Rashi tells us already that Bilam was blessing the tzniut, the modesty of Bnei Israel. He saw that their tents, they had to pitch tents in the desert. The tents were not facing each other. It was each one was turned so that when I open up my front door, I don't see into someone else's house. Unbelievable levels of modesty. Now, when it comes to modesty today, we think about dress, how a man's supposed to dress, how a woman's supposed to dress. There's more about modesty than just dress, as primarily modesty relates to a person's conduct, privately, publicly, being aware of your actions, not to draw attention. Dress is the outside, but to help refine you. But modesty comes from the inside as well. It has to be on the inside. The outside, it's what's called chitzoniyut me'orer primiyut. The outside awakens the inside. It's easy to put the outside, to put on this clothes, put on that clothes. Okay, it's easy to just put on that type of clothing, but it has to get to the inside. A great rabbi that I learned a lot from, Rabbi Reuven Leuchter, says something interesting. Um, I don't know if JSE is a woman. Oh, hopefully I can Israel on, but even if you're a woman, that's okay. Even the people that are watching the recording. But he said as follows. He said he noticed that this is in Israel. I don't know if it's applicable other places. I hope not. But he says he noticed Beis Yaakov girls would sometimes not dress so tzniut after they graduated. They finished Beis Yaakov, and now all of a sudden, is that the same girl? Oh my gosh, you're dressing like not so tzniut. Like what happened? And he felt the following. He says they would bring in the old Beis Yaakov system. Who were the teachers? The way he described it was women wearing potato sacks, meaning these these uh these old women wearing potato sacks were now the example of tzniut. So girls that were younger, that were like they couldn't relate to it. They're like, what? That's how we have to dress, and that's tzniut. And therefore, the moment they had any freedom, they left it. And Rabbi Leuchter, what he did was he made sure to bring into the system younger women that dress b'tzniut, that dress modest and act modest, but also look and feel good as a normal and religious woman, so that it could get to that woman that she's going to hold on to tzniut after she leaves as well. Because tzniut really, he brings many proofs to this. Tsanua means to hold back, or a woman has a yetzer hara to show more, to reveal her beauty more, and tzniut is hold that back. So this is the lesson of tzniut of the great rabbi, and he felt that when he made that change in the system, there was a lot of good fruits from that change. Um, I saw brought down in the name of the Zohar an interesting thing, that if you take the letters of the word Balak and Bilam, so you have Bet Lamed Kuf and Bet Lamed Ain Mem. So two Bet Lamed is Bilbul. Bilbul, it means a confusion, a mix-up. And the letters also together spell Be'amalek. Balak and Bilam, Be'amalek. With Amalek. Because when a person is in a state of confusion, then you fall into the hands of Amalek. Amalek is the gematria of Safek. Safek is a doubt, confusion. I don't know, this way, that way. Our goal is to try to attain Yishuv Hadat, try to attain that you're in control at all times. And one of the differences between between Bil'am and Avraham Avinu, we see that Bil'am woke up early to go out to try cursing Bnei Israel, but by him it says Vayakom Bil'am Aboker. By Avraham Avinu, it says Vayashkem Avraham Aboker. What's the difference between Vayakom Bil'am Aboker and Vayashkem? Both means he woke up. So the Lev Simcha, the Ger Rebbe explains that Vayashkem means he woke up, like a person wakes up in the morning. Vayakom is the person stood up, he got up. What's the difference? Avraham Avinu woke up, meaning he was sleeping, and he woke up. Bil'am, Vayakom, got up. Avraham Avinu, knowing that the next day he's going to sacrifice his son, he still went to sleep the night before. And then Vayashkem, he woke up from his sleep. How could you sleep? You're going to sacrifice your son. How could you sleep? Everything's been Hashemayim. Hashem wants me to do this. Hakol min Hashemayim. And with a great level of emunah, it brought Avraham Avinu to a state of relaxation. He was able to sleep. Unbelievable. Bilam, on the other hand, Vayaakov got up. He couldn't sleep. He was so excited to curse Bnei Israel. He got his emotions involved. He couldn't sleep. Bnei Israel always have to be in a state of Yishuv Adat. We have to be in a state not like Balak and Bilam, of Bilbul, of Mebulbal, of confusion, but in a state of always being in control. Yes, life is very fast-paced, and phones and screens and this and that. People don't have patience anymore, don't have tranquility anymore. But we have to do our best to have Yishuv Hadat and calmness and tranquility to make proper decisions, not make decisions in a haste. And that's what we learn from Avraham Avinu as well, who is the mirror opposite of Bilam. B'ezrat Hashem, we strengthen our emunah, Torah, asim tovim, and ask Hashem for clarity, and ask Hashem to not be put into situations where He sends us hints and we don't follow them, but that we follow the hints from Hashem, and we always are on the proper path. B'ezrat Hashem. Thank you for tuning in. Chazak u'baruch, and to many more shiurim. B'ezrat Hashem. Have a good day. Have a
Rabbi.
good day, everyone.